Hey, what's up, guys? This is going to be the raw, unedited series of videos about my life as it was when I was a drug addict and when I was drinking alcohol. Um, got a lot of crazy stories, got a lot of sad stories, but I want to start at the beginning. Now, my drug of choice was methamphetamines. Um, the first time I heard of methamphetamines was through a girl I was dating. One of my first loves when I was 13 years old. She was 14, and we had been dating for maybe about a year. I mean, that's a crazy amount of time for a 13-year-old. But anyway, um, who's to say, right? Uh, anyway, so I didn't know much about, I never heard about methamphetamines. I don't even think I knew what coke was yet. But I think I smoked weed here and there and probably drank like some Boone's Farm or something. Oh, Smirnoff Ice. Yeah, that was my first drink. No, sorry, my first drink was um, beer from my uncle. I'm not gonna say any names. But anyway, yeah. So first time I heard about meth was through that girl, and she would go hang out at her friend's house up in Mount Vernon, California, and like Mount Vernon is like it's like in the San Bernardino area. It's not a very good place, but it's close to the mountains, so it's kind of nice. But anyway, she would tell me about this stuff she would smoke with her friends, and it would like keep her up all night and make her horny and shit. And she would say crazy stuff like that, and I really it made me upset. I never wanted to do it. It didn't sound like a fun time. I don't know. I was that young. I guess I was like just I was into skateboarding and like shorties, Chad Muska, Zero. Like I skate with my homies. I didn't really think about drugs. But anyway, like that's what the first time I heard about it. And then I would skate with a friend, and his brother did it. And we walked in on his brother doing it one day, and they offered it. And again, I was still that young kid who was like, no, like I'm good, dude. Like didn't want just wanted to skateboard and hang out with my buddies. And then didn't really see it after that. And fast forward, I was I think 15 years old, 16 years old, and then it popped back up. Um, I was dating another girl, and her and one of my buddies was getting high on it, and I was just drinking beer. I didn't want to do it. I was just like this little punk rock kid who just drank beer in the corner and smoked weed and didn't want anything to do with that. I even like made up a story that like one of my friends overdosed on it, and that's why I didn't want to do it. Like I would, but I know someone who died, so I'm good, man. I'm just gonna drink this 40. And man, I can't tell you how many nights. I mean, we were all hanging out at this chick's house. I was 15, she was 14, and we would all hang out there and drink, and everyone would be getting high, and I would eventually just pass out because I was drunk or really tired, from skating all day and just being like a little fucking hood rat. And I'd wake up and everybody would be gone. You know what I mean? Everybody would be gone, and it would bum me out. And it happened like night after night. And this went on for like at least 2 weeks. And one day she was at school. Yes, we're still at her house hanging out, smoking cigarettes, drinking beer. They're smoking speed, and we're all hanging out. She's at school though, and my buddy and this dude, who was like I guess he was like the connect or whatever. They were smoking. They were sitting there smoking speed, and I was just watching them. And I remember specifically. I was listening to um, the the it was the punk core compilation. So like it had like the Casualties, it had like the Unseen, the Virus, Defiance, I think Monster Squad, like all those early like 2000 street punk bands. That was my deal, dude. I just wanted to drink 40s and like be like those guys. And those guys didn't talk about smoking speed, or at least I didn't know if they did or whatever. But I just never saw them with it, so it's not who I wanted to be like. You know what I mean? And but after a while, I started to remember how like, oh, I'm gonna eventually gonna fall asleep tonight, and I'm gonna wake up and they're all gonna be gone. So I asked them for a hit. I was like, dude, let me get some of that. And I remember my buddy, I will not disclose any names, he was like, look, man, this is either going to make you or break you. And hopefully it makes you. So that's the craziest thing to say to somebody, right? So, anyways, I go to take a hit with my mouth, and they go to light it for me. And the Connect guy goes, no, 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 no. Put it to your nose. So they put the pipe up to my nose. So I got a meth pipe up to my nose. 15 years old. And this dude, he's probably like in his 30s, is like lighting it for me. And he says, breathe deep, little homie. And I go, and I'll never forget the smell and the feeling and the taste. It gives me chills now talking about it. And they go, let it out, blow it out, don't hold it in. Because I'm so used to smoking weed and like cigarettes, so I think you hold your smoking. Well, this, you don't want to hold that in because it'll crystallize your lungs apparently. But later on down the road, I started holding it in, and I knew a lot of people who held it in. Fuck, I started eating the shit and putting it in my Gatorade. Anyways, that's way down the line. That's going to be a story way later. But, so, sorry, smoke break. So dude tells me to breathe deep, little homie. I take a deep breath and I blow out this huge cloud. And as I blow out this huge cloud, the door swings open, her bedroom door. And it's her. And instead of being upset or anything, she goes, finally! And right there, I was hooked. And I don't even think it was like it was like a 50-50 situation, right? It was like the drug, but I was now accepted. And I wasn't going to get left behind, right? I wasn't going to get fucking abandoned. That wasn't going to happen anymore. I was going to be a part of the team, part of the crew. And yeah, that started a long, long binge. I just took 2 years sober this past Saturday. It's what's today's date? I think it's like Wednesday today, the 4th. Wednesday the 4th, 2026. This was like 2004, maybe 2005. I'm not sure. My fucking timeline is kind of like a fever dream. I mean, but anyway, that started my drug career, and now that I think about it, it was always evolved around a girl. It always revolved around wanting to be a part of and wanting to be around, just not wanting to get left behind, not wanting to get abandoned. And that's sad, dude. That's fucking crazy. Uh, but let me just lighten up the story, though. I mean, not to glorify or glamorize any of this. Man, I was having fucking fun. A lot of fucking fun. I mean, staying up late, running around the streets, never sleeping. It was like we were like we were like Peter Pan and the fucking Lost Boys. Just fucking running around Never Land, dude. And it was wild. I mean, I don't know. That's sort of the foundation of how this series is gonna go. Um, it'll get juicier. It'll get better. Trust me. I've also never really done this on camera, so I'm not nervous, but I think I'm in my head too much right now. But I'm not gonna edit nothing. Everything's gonna stay raw. Everything's gonna be just the way it happens. So stay tuned. I'm gonna tell you more. The story is gonna start to develop. It's gonna get wilder and wilder, and you're gonna hear more about these random characters I meet and random places I go, and yeah. So stay tuned. I love you guys. Peace. Take care of each other.